Hey guys, what's up and welcome to a new Tesla update video. So today let's go over the market, talk about what just happened. Man, what an absolutely wild day, I have to say. CPI came in actually hotter than expected by 0.1%. Came in at, I think expectations were 8.1, it came at 8.2, or expectations were at 8.2 and it came at 8.3. I forgot which one it was. All these numbers are getting kind of mixed up in my head, but nonetheless it came just slightly hotter than expected, which isn't good, which is why the market initially, pre-market, everything was down like substantially. Tesla was down like 4% pre-market. And then what do you know? The market just completely rallies like a monster throughout the whole day. And pretty much the whole market right now has this fat ass green candle, right? This giga green candle, pretty much the whole market, or at least the majority of it, which is pretty insane. Completely honest, like literally what am I watching, right? Pretty wild stuff. So let's go over, let's talk about what happened, you know, if it's looking good, if it's not looking good still, you know, whatever, like all that stuff. So let's just get into it. If you guys enjoyed, don't forget to hit that like button. Tesla ending the day up, surprisingly, with a nice, huge, massive green candle, 2.11%, ending at $221.83 compared to the market. Unfortunately, underperforming. Tesla should be up at least like 3.5% based on how the market went today, minimum. Definitely a bit of an underperformance, but you know, nonetheless, you know, a green day regardless. So I have personally did enter a position down here, which I did sell, not at the top obviously, but you know, I sold somewhere around this like 220, 219, I think it was level or something like that. So that was a nice little trade there, but ultimately I did de-risk a bit more. I did exit some more of my positions before, some of them still at a small loss, mainly because they were just that underwater. But I'm just essentially de-risking some of my positions. Now, I still have a bunch of bullish positions on Tesla that are, you know, I'm still holding that. Honestly, I don't want to de-risk them because they're a little too under the water. So the way I did it is, and the way I'm playing it right now is I'm holding them, and I did enter some puts on the SPY as a bit of a hedge. So, you know, these positions are much shorter time frame. The SPY puts that I enter are much longer time frames, so it's fine. Anyway, the point is the fact that Tesla, you know, pretty much coming up right to that more or less level that I talked about yesterday, right? Being this resistance, well, I mean, old support, now new resistance, this whole area that we traded in back here, pretty much is getting constantly rejected at this area right now. And we are essentially at, or at least very, very, very close to this yellow line roughly that I have drawn, which is also, yeah, like I said before, an extremely important area for us to get past. Now, moving over to the 21 EMA, you can see it's still well above us. The Bollinger Band, we did bounce off the red line, which is great. And the most important thing that we want to look at is, of course, the 5 and the 10-day moving average. We pretty much closed right at the 5-day moving average, slightly above it actually, which is pretty good, but you know, pretty close to being right on it. And then we still have, of course, the 10-day moving average well above us. We still have this major resistance now right in front of us as well that we got rejected of. You can see a tiny little wick right here. And of course, we have this overall channel that we're still in, being the, you know, the yellow line, lines rather, that we also want to go ahead and reject, or not, I mean, if you're a bear, I guess, that, you know, we might get rejected from, or we might push above. Really just depends on how it goes. So we'll have to see. The next couple of days, I think, will be crucial. I think by Monday, we should find out, if not even tomorrow. Now, I do want to have a bit of a warning. Again, not financial advice. Make your own decisions. Do your own research. I have seen this picture before, right? I have seen CPI, something like CPI, come in at, you know, worse than expected, and the markets completely rally that day on those numbers, and then just completely crash the next day or the day after. I have seen this before several times. Just food for thought. It doesn't mean it has to happen again. It very well could not happen, right? I'm just saying I have seen it happen before, and it wouldn't shock me if it does happen again. In other words, if potentially tomorrow or Monday we just completely crash again. And this is just pretty much setting up from what was an absolute massive bear bait to now a potential huge bull bait. That is extremely possible. It's just, you know, food for thought. Ladies and gentlemen, keep that in mind. I just want you to keep you on your toes. But nonetheless, Tesla, you know, is holding fairly strong. It did come way above the red line, which is great, on a huge green candle. I'm just so used to saying red, almost said red again. On a huge green candle. Now, again, this is good. This is not bad, right? It's the job is not done yet, right? There's still more work to be done, but this is like, you know, a fairly promising, I guess, start potentially. We'll see if it is a start even. But essentially, like I said before, what Tesla wants to do, in my opinion, is you want to essentially break above this resistance that I've been talking about for the past couple of days or so. Pretty much exactly where we're at right now. We want to break above this level, right above, like, in all honesty, ideally, I'd want to see a break above like 224 or 225. Because not only would that break above this massive resistance area in general over here, but it would also break above this yellow line or I guess descending line or descending channel, sorry, that we are currently in as well, right? So you'd want to break above both of those things. It's not looking bad, and in fact, Tesla is looking pretty okay. You can see the RSI is starting to look a little bit, a little good, right? As you can see, as we kind of overall came down lower, the RSI pretty much, kind of didn't really make lower lows, even though the stock continued making lower lows. And now that we're up here, the RSI is peaking its head well above all of these levels over here back when we were still trading, even all the way up here. So that's a decent sign. That is a decent start. So that's why I'm not entirely sure what is going to happen just yet. There's still no true confirmation yet, though this is quite a bullish candle, I will admit. But again, I've seen these traps before, so I'm personally still a little bit hesitant, which is why I also de-risked a little bit. Definitely, ate into some of my profits even more, which it sucks, but I'm just de-risking for now because again, if we rally, fantastic. I still have other bullish positions that I would love Tesla to rally up towards, and everything's okay. If we drop, then not only do I have my puts on SPY that will do pretty well, but I'll also be able to sell more puts against cash secured puts on Tesla as well. So to me, I just have I'm trying to cover a lot of these bases so that almost like whichever way we go, I benefit in some way or another. Now I won't benefit as much going one way or the other if we just went straight down or went straight up, but I'm kind of just covering some bases right now, so it's not all bad regardless of where we go, and I ultimately feel like I'll win overall. Anyway, that's kind of what I'm seeing at the very moment. So ultimately, Tesla not looking bad, right? It's really starting to try to, make a reversal here. The RSI is really trying to push. It's looking pretty okay. It does seem slightly more bullish than bearish for now, but the main thing I want to pay attention to, guys, right now is I really need to see tomorrow and I really need to see Monday, because again, and I've said this several times already in this video, I have seen this picture before. I have seen these kind of rallies on bad information, on bad data that came out that is actually quite bearish in all honesty, and this kind of rally makes so many people think that, oh, it was priced in, fantastic, and then it wasn't, and then we just completely crash, and it ends up going from a super bear bait to a super bull bait, and then we just crash, and it's just like two massive traps in a row. It's pretty disgusting, but I've seen it happen before, and I'm not, I'm just being cautious, let's just say that. So that's kind of what I see at the moment, ladies and gentlemen. Not a whole lot more to update. Overall, Tesla, looking like it's really trying to do its thing here. So we'll see what happens. Elon did say that they're potentially considering a buyback, which is fantastic. That's quite bullish, actually. So that'll be amazing if it were to happen. But we'll see. We'll see. I still think we have a potential, very few interesting days coming up. The way I also look at it is, since Tesla still roughly follows the SPY, these two red lines are very important levels. And on top of that, we also have this Fibonacci, right, which from the swing high to the low, the SPY did get rejected at the 618, which is, a pretty strong level to get rejected at, but it can go up potentially as high as this 372, potentially. That would say that's like the highest. But if it goes much higher than that, then, you can easily make the argument that the bottom honestly might even be in. I don't think it is. I really would be surprised, but we'll see what happens with that, ladies and gentlemen. But ultimately, if the SPY can push above and out of this line as well and get above like 373, let's just say, it's looking pretty good for the bulls, let's just say that. And Tesla probably will at least fall to some extent, right, which will also kind of push it around this line, maybe come up to this 245-ish area as well. So we'll see, guys, we'll see. It's extremely hard to say for sure, but it's a good start. Just need some follow through. I think that's the most important thing here, is that if you're a bull and you want this to continue rallying on the market in general, Tesla, whatever, you really want to see some really powerful follow through from here, and this just doesn't just collapse and become a fantastic bear trap into a bull trap. So we'll see tomorrow and Monday, guys. I think those will be very important days. But until then, thank you so much for watching. Let me know what you think down below. Pretty wild day in the markets, and I'll see you tomorrow. Peace.